A GOP official in New Jersey decided to share a meme that degrades women who decided to take part in the Women's March this past weekend. Now, it's Republican John Carman, and apparently on his Facebook page, he had shared a meme that says the following. Let's take a quick look. Will the women's protest be over in time for them to cook dinner? Like, oh yeah, make me a sandwich. Yeah, make me a sandwich. It's like the favorite Republican, response to a woman who shares her political views. Anyway, so he got criticism for it, interestingly enough, and he did respond to that criticism with not an apology, but kind of doubling down. He says, I thought it was funny. People need to lighten up. Okay, and then he also wrote, there must be a large sandwich making class going on in Washington, D.C. today. No. Anyway, and then when he continued to get criticized, and people honestly tried to explain to him, A, why it's not really that funny, right? This is like played out, try to come up with something more clever, and B, why it's not funny to, go after people who are exercising their constitutional rights, by the way. He decided to post another meme, and it was about Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on the bus, but she didn't trash the bus. Big difference. Okay, so these protests were insanely peaceful. And I gotta be honest, I went to the Women's March in Los Angeles, and being in public with large crowds of people makes me super uncomfortable right now, just because the country's in a really bad place. I was shocked at how incredibly well organized and peaceful it was, right? It was a really great feeling to be there with people who have strong political opinions, who believe in community, who believe in helping one another out, who want to protect their rights. And what the media does and what the opponents to these protesters do is claim that they're all violent. They try to minimize them, belittle them, make it seem as though they're all these crazy criminals. That is not the case at all. 2.9 million people marched this past weekend. And to say that they're like violent and they're destroying property is insane.
2 quick points on that. One, there's just no evidence of it. I know it's an alternative fact, but nobody wrote about anything being in any way hurt during the Women's March. During inauguration, there was they said they were anarchists, I don't know, but there was definitely some windows broken, et cetera. But that was not the Women's March, that was the day before, okay? And he's specifically referring to the Women's March, where there was no reports of any violence whatsoever. Secondly, do you think they would have been in favor of Rosa Parks? Guys like that back in the day, they would be like, hey, we don't need any northern agitators here coming in here. We've got tradition and heritage here, and everybody knows their role. They're coming in here and stirring things up.
Yeah.
No, they would have hated Rosa Parks. They did. The conservatives hated Rosa Parks back then. Now they're pretending to be in favor of people like Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. Please, spare me. Okay, now back to making sandwiches. Now, look, if you're a couple of guys and you want to joke around privately, you can ill-advise whatever, but like, who cares? You're not a public official, right? Or you want to do it like I did, make it ironic. So when I was interviewing that woman who hates all other feminists and doesn't agree with women's rights, I was like, well, if you don't want women to have rights, then I said, then I guess you're happy in the days where you make sandwiches. So go make me a sandwich. And I said that in the context of, well, if you don't want to be equal, then I get to lord over you, right?
And let me be clear. I mean, I've made similar statements, especially when, the election was happening and we had Jordan Sheridan interviewing people at these Trump rallies, and several women would talk about how, like one woman said that she does not believe that women should have a place in politics, as she's at a rally, by the way, and women should not voice their opinions, right? They shouldn't have rights, like the rights that we honestly take for granted on a regular basis, and now a lot of us are waking up and we want to protect those rights. Okay, so here's the thing. How about you don't mess with my life and my rights? If you want to be in the kitchen to make a sandwich, go make it. If you want to be a housewife, if you want your husband to control every single component of your life, please, you have free will. You have the ability to make whatever life decisions you want. You do you, boo, right? I'm not going to judge you. That's the dynamic you want in your relationship. But here's the thing. I want to be a leader, okay? I want to make decisions for myself, and I want to have a strong voice in politics. You don't get to tell me how I live my life. You want your husband to dictate you? Awesome. You don't get to dictate me, right? And so here's another thing. Look, people get on me because I call Republican women stupid. I mean, they don't respect you. What do you think? You're smart? They treat you like you're crap, okay? They talk about, controlling your body. They talk about punishing you. They talk about how the only thing you're worth is someone who goes and makes your husband a sandwich. They don't respect you, okay? So what do you want me to do? Sit here and pretend like you're smart? I don't know. I don't know what to say. And by the way, if you think that political correctness has run amok in the country, I agree with you. So don't be a snowflake when I call you stupid.
And I'll add to that. So if you're in the camp that you think men are superior to women and hence should get to make these decisions and you should obey your husband, et cetera, and you vote for Republicans who agree with you, and you want men to lord over you, well, then don't complain when I ask you to make me a sandwich, because that's your job according to your interpretation. Now, I don't agree with that interpretation, and I don't want that. Anna doesn't want that. None of us want that. But you do. So how do you complain that when I ask you to make me a sandwich, shouldn't you say, yes, sir, you are a lord over me. You are a male. Yes, sir. I vote Republican. Yes, sir. What kind of sandwich would I like? That'd be the response I'm looking for going forward. But now back to the reality. If you're an actual politician and you represent all the people in your district, you can't go around making jokes like this, right? You're not with your buddies in the locker room or at the club or wherever, right? So when you do that publicly, for all the women who do care, who don't think that their role is to have men lord over them, you also represent them. They're in your district. So this is a slap across the face.
Yep.
Let alone the people who don't agree with you on politics. But for 50% of your voters, 50% of your constituents are people who you're now saying, is like, oh, you think you want to be involved in politics? That's cute, little missy. Why don't you go back home and make me dinner? Here's what they should make you: unemployed. The corporate media has multi-million-dollar anchors. We have you guys. Go to tytnetwork.com/go, and you can help hire investigative reporters that'll do real journalism.